Dear comrades and friends, once again we are going to observe May Day under the slogan, Workers of the World Unite, you have nothing to lose but your chains. The day which reminds us of great sacrifices by the workers and their leaders for dignity of labor. They began their struggle for working hours to be fixed, they to be treated as humans and not as animals. They raised the demands later on of their wages, of workplace safety, of social security for future, and of course, their battle was for whole humanity. They contributed to the civilization by raising this demand that human rights belong to all, and there is something like human rights. In India also in 19th century, the workers were up in arms, struggling, battling, going to strikes. In the second half of 19th century, the unionization started happening in India also. So it was only during that period that this battle the world over began for fixed working hours for the working class. In 20th century, we find unionization process happening more and more all over the world. And then also we find in 1917 during First World War, first revolution happening in Russia with overthrow of Tsar. October Revolution happened. Workers and peasants came to power. A proletarian's government came into being, who supported the freedom movements all over the world, who inspired the working class all over the world, and the process of unionization got hastened. In India, several of the unions had been made, and first National Centre of Trade Union got formed in 1920, with first president being Lala Lajpat Rai, a great freedom fighter. And later on, even Pandit Nehru chaired AITUC, even Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose chaired AITUC, and V.V. Giriji also chaired AITUC. All India Trade Union Congress, the first national centre of the trade unions, under its banner, strengthened the freedom movement. Freedom movement got strength from the working class, and the working class got strength from the freedom movement. It was a relationship, a beautiful relationship. Similarly, there was a deep relationship between the movements of working class and the movements of farming community and the movement of other sections of the society. And then we form that the first demand of complete independence comes from the working class. In 1921, in second session of AITUC, this demand was raised and resolution was adopted, much before the platform of Indian freedom movement passed a resolution. Not only that, the trade union AITUC was the first to demand for a constituent assembly, not to accept what Britishers were suggesting, have some norms and forms under self-rule, but remain under the rule of Britishers. AITUC demanded no, nothing doing. We want a constituent assembly. We want free India. And in that free India, what kind of constitution we will have, the rights the people will have, and what kind of India we will develop. The debate was begun in this country, not only on that constitution, but also how our natural resources will be used, what will be economic policies, how we will be moving ahead. All these debates generated by the working class movement of this country. So this May Day is not only hoisting our flag and saying workers of the world unite and saluting our flag. It is to remember all those things which is necessary for us today when we are facing serious challenge in this May Day observation in 2021. That's why I am reminding, in post-independent India, what the workers had raised and what we got in the constitution. We had raised in pre-independence era not only our working class demands of fixing our working hours, 8 hours, or our social security issues, or the questions of equal pay for equal wage, or the maternity benefit, but we had also raised the question of right to freedom, right to democracy, right to dissent, right to freedom of expression. In post-independent India, development happened, farmers contributed their land, the working class and the scientific cadre contributed their might, and a strong public sector enterprises, natural assets and national assets were created. Natural resources were utilized and national assets were created. Whatever we achieved in the country is today under attack. We got a legal right of trade unionism, Trade Union Act 1926. We got workplace safety questions and maintenance and compensation in 1923 itself. Several of the rights we got during British period and in post-independent India through our parliament and through our state legislations. All that is under attack in Modi regime. Let us understand, this Bharatiya Janata Party, the old name was Bharatiya Jansangh Party, was totally opposed to any kind of self-reliant economy of this country. They were opposed to government intervention or the public investments and creation of public sector enterprises. They were opposed to it. They were always for free market economy. They wanted all our service sector also to be in that. They opposed bank nationalization, insurance nationalization, textile nationalization, coal nationalization, what all I can repeat. They were opposed to it. So once Narendra Modi sat on the seat, naturally they are implementing what RSS believes in and what Jansangh Party believed in and what Bharatiya Janata Party, their new name, believes in. So friends, comrades, we are really in very, very serious situation. It's not only that during first part of their regime from 2014 to 2019, they did demonetization, which harmed our economy. The way GST was brought, it further harmed. Recession started, which was already there, it started deepening. Job losses increased and unemployment rate started rising. New jobs not being created, sanctioned posts not being filled. We were already in bad shape. Every section of the society was on move. Farmers were agitating against the ordinances, and 3 times the ordinances had to be withdrawn or they died. And the workers were up in arms. 3 strikes were held opposing any kind of labor law changes and opposing privatization and disinvestment of the public sector. Sectoral strikes happened and general strikes happened. So farmers on move, workers on move, teachers on move, students on move, and then common citizens against CAA. They were on move, led by our women of the country. In such a situation, it was an environment for Narendra Modi government to go. But then happens Pulwama and Balakot. And that was utilized. History will tell the truth about Pulwama and Balakot. But the government, the BJP, used it extensively, and electoral bonds were used, hiding money, how much money came from corporates who made an image of Narendra Modi for 2014 for him to come, and they benefited from his regime. Their wealth was increasing, public sector was under attack, they were benefiting. The workers were losing, but corporates were increasing their wealth. And then the loot of the public money through non-performing assets, the loans taken, credit taken by big corporate houses not being returned and being written off from the registers by Narendra Modi government to the tune of almost about 11 lakh crores have been written off from 2013-14 onwards already. So loot was allowed and looters were allowed to go out, and economy kept on going into deep recession. But with 31% vote, they sat on the seat of power. And in the second time in their regime, their attack increased on citizens, I should say, not only working class, not only farming community, on in general on citizens. Extensive use of UAPA, extensive use of Sedition Act, ED Act being used against opponents, use of police system, investigative agencies, of NIA, of CBI, every instrument weakened and then best utilized by the government to scuttle the voices or to suppress the voices of opposition. But after his coming to power, 2020 January itself, we organized a strike. Our defense workers went for 1 month long strike, which was wound up after talks after 5 days. Every section was on move. Within a month of their coming into power, the production units of railways came on the streets, along with their families. Then there were struggles of not letting the work begin in some of the tribal areas by the corporate houses, threatening the environment over there by those corporate houses. The people were up in arms again. And then comes COVID-19, which was known in month of December, but the government kept its eyes closed. January 2020, it was declared as health emergency. The government closed its eyes, allowed all safety equipments to be exported. They were busy, their leaders were busy spreading poison for Delhi elections. Divide and rule politics of Britishers was always their agenda and their tactics and their strategy which they are using. Their mother organization, RSS I should say, which never supported freedom movement, which their leaders gave a theory of dividing India on religious lines. It is they who never supported Indian freedom movement. It is they who never respected our national flag under which the freedom movement was fought. And they were the people who were responsible for spread of venom and hatred, which resulted not only riots in India, which also resulted in assassination of Mahatma Gandhi in post-independent India. So they are sitting in the seat of power. Let us understand. So it's not only that the 3 farm bills have been brought, electricity bill, the way it has been brought, or the codes, the way they have been adopted, ignoring all discussion which did not happen in the parliament. Discussions were not allowed, tripartism was not allowed, and only fake tripartism was shown. But parliament was totally ignored, insulted. In absence of whole of opposition, labor laws were adopted, these codes were adopted. Trade unions are opposing it. It is to push us back 150 years. And to that era when labor was treated as slaves. Mr. Narendra Modi, you want to push us back into slavery. You want to push our economy back into dependent economy on the international finance capital today. You are weaving our economy with the international finance capital. That's what you are doing. So the capitalism is to be strengthened by your regime, and labor which is wealth producer is supposed to be turned into slaves once again. That is the challenge during this May Day. And how this COVID-19 period was used They said we will convert it into opportunity, and they have converted into opportunity. Sector after sector is under sale. Disinvestment, privatization and selling. Nation is put on sale by this regime. And now we see the result. No attention was paid to health sector. No inputs. It was public sector which came to the help of people during COVID-19 first wave. It is the public sector which is once again up on its legs, helping the people and the country. But the government is out to kill that public sector. This is the right time. On this May Day we understand that public sector is the savior of our people. We should defend it. Our health, our education, our sanitation, our water, our ordnance factories have to be under government control. Our banks, our insurance, our railways, our space science, our atomic energy, our transport sector, our postal departments, our telecom sector, our oil, what not. Every public sector must be defended. The services must be defended under government sector and the public sector. Otherwise, the next wave coming, we know the situation will be pretty bad. And that's why, my friends, on this May Day, let us understand, this government is behaving like a butcher, allowing the people to die the way they are dying. They have created chaos and anarchy, and not responsible for anything, but responsible for chaos and anarchy. They created that situation. That whole 1 year has been wasted, and people are on mercy. You imagine how the black market is roaring, how the profit mongers are benefiting, and the governments allowed the profit making in these difficult times also. Even on this vaccination question, even on the question of oxygen, we know what all is happening. And that's why I would like to say that this May Day is a challenge. It's a day when we have to say, once again, do or die. We have to fight to defend what we achieved. We have to fight what has been snatched, taking it back. We have to fight to reach to new achievements, to reach to new heights. This is the right time. This